There are Japanese sport bikes out there with over 100,000 miles on the clock. Original engines, never rebuilt, still ripping through canyon roads like they just rolled off the showroom floor. Most of these bikes aren't rare or expensive. You've probably walked past one on Craigslist for under $4,000 and didn't think twice. Here are 10 that flat out refuse to die, and the last few on this list have a reputation that borders on ridiculous. The beginner bike that outlives everything. The Kawasaki Ninja 250R, specifically the 2008 to 2012 generation, is the cockroach of motorcycling. It survives everything: commuters, stunters, track day abuse, first-time drops, and parking lots. That parallel twin is so under-stressed, it practically loafs at highway speed. You'll find these things on forums with 60,000, 70,000, even 80,000 miles, and the owners are never talking about engine problems. They're talking about replacing chain and sprockets. The valve adjustment intervals are every 7,500 miles, and they almost never need actual adjustment. If you're learning to ride or you want a second bike that costs almost nothing to insure and even less to maintain, this is the one. Clean examples still go for $2,000 to $3,000 all day long. The middleweight everyone forgets.
Wow! Holy shit!
Suzuki's SV650, especially the second generation from 2003 to 2009, isn't technically a sport bike in the supersport sense, but put clip-ons and a full fairing on it and tell me it doesn't count. That 90-degree V-twin is one of the most reliable engines Suzuki has ever built. It's the same basic layout they used in the TL1000 and later the V-Strom, and it just doesn't break. Owners regularly hit 70,000 miles with nothing more than oil changes, chain maintenance, and a valve check that takes about an hour. The fuel-injected models from 2003 onward eliminated the cold start headaches of the earlier carbureted versions. You can find a solid SV650S for $2,500 to $3,500, ride it for 5 years, and sell it for almost the same price. And this next one is something almost every rider has sat on at a dealership, but never given enough credit. The Honda that does everything and complains about nothing. CBR 600 F4i, produced from 2001 to 2006, might be the most well-rounded sport bike Honda ever made. It's not the sharpest on a track. The CBR 600RR took that crown. But in terms of pure reliability, the F4i is in a different league. That inline 4 has a nearly unbreakable bottom end. Riders regularly report 80,000 plus miles with zero internal engine work. Honda's PGM FI fuel injection on this generation was rock solid from day one, and the bike's overall build quality, wiring harness, starter system, cooling, just doesn't give you problems. If you commute on a sport bike, this is the one engineers would pick. Used prices sit around $3,000 to $4,500 depending on mileage and condition. The budget sleeper nobody talks about. Yamaha's FZ6, sold from 2004 to 2009, is built around a detuned version of the R6 engine. Same basic inline 4, retuned for mid-range torque instead of top-end screaming. The result is an engine that's working about 60% as hard as its supersport sibling at any given RPM. That headroom is why FZ6 motors last so long. You'll see 50,000 and 60,000 mile examples that still pull clean compressions across all 4 cylinders. Valve checks come every 26,600 miles. Yes, that's the actual interval, and adjustments are rarely needed. It's the sport bike you buy when you want R6 DNA without R6 maintenance bills. But here's where it gets interesting, because the next few bikes on this list aren't just reliable, they're overbuilt on purpose. The sport tourer disguised as a weapon.
Whoa!
Honda's VFR 800 Interceptor, particularly the 5th and 6th generation bikes from 2002 to 2013, uses a V4 engine with gear-driven cams. No cam chain to stretch, no cam chain tensioner to fail. That alone eliminates one of the most common failure points on high-mileage inline fours. The VTEC system on post-2002 models gets a bad rap online, but mechanically it's proven. VFR owners routinely cross 100,000 miles. There's a famous one in the UK with over 200,000 miles on the original engine. At $3,500 to $5,500 for a clean example, it's one of the best values in motorcycling, period. The track weapon with a secret. The Kawasaki ZX-6R from 2009 to 2012 doesn't get mentioned in reliability conversations because people assume supersports are fragile. This generation isn't. Kawasaki over-engineered the bottom end on this bike, forged connecting rods, a heavy-duty crankshaft, and it shows at high mileage. Track riders who actually maintain these bikes report 40,000 to 60,000 miles before needing any significant engine work, which is exceptional for a 600cc supersport. The key is using the correct 10W40 full synthetic oil and keeping the coolant fresh. That engine runs hot and punishes neglect fast. But treat it right, and it'll outlast most of the 600s from its era. If you've been riding for more than a year, this next one is definitely about you, or at least about a bike you've been eyeing. The leader bike with a workhorse soul.
Here we go. Oh my God. Oh wow. Oh this thing is insane.
Yamaha's first-generation FZ1 from 2001 to 2005 took the R1's 998cc inline 4 and softened it for street use. Detuned cams, different intake, friendlier fueling. The result is a leader bike that makes around 140 horsepower but never feels like it's working hard. That detuned nature means less thermal stress, less mechanical strain, and longer engine life. FZ1 owners hitting 80,000 miles without a rebuild is common. The second generation, from 2006 to 2015, is even more refined, with better fuel injection and a 6-speed gearbox. Either generation will serve you for a decade if you change the oil every 4,000 miles and keep the valves in spec.
The one that refuses to acknowledge mileage. The Honda CBR 10000RR, specifically the 2004 to 2007 generation, has a reputation for mechanical stubbornness. That 998cc inline 4, paired with Honda's PGM DSFI fuel injection, just keeps running. There are documented examples north of 90,000 miles on original internals. The trick is that Honda used a semi-dry sump oiling system on this generation that keeps the engine better lubricated under hard acceleration than a traditional wet sump. It's a small engineering choice that pays massive dividends over time. Budget $4,000 to $6,000 for a clean one, and you might never need to buy another leader bike. Now forget everything about supersports for a second, because the top 2 bikes on this list play a completely different game. The Gentleman's Missile. Kawasaki's ZX-14R, produced from 2006 to 2020 in various forms, is a 1,441cc inline 4 that makes close to 200 horsepower and yet somehow lasts longer than bikes half its displacement. The secret is massive over-engineering. The crankcase is built like an anchor. The transmission gears are wider than they need to be. Kawasaki designed this engine to handle sustained high-speed runs across continents, and that over-spec'd construction means commuting and weekend rides barely register as stress. Owners report 100,000 miles with nothing but scheduled maintenance, oil changes every 7,500 miles, valve clearance checks every 15,000. That's it. For a 200-horsepower motorcycle, that's absurd. And the one that sits at the top of this list, honestly, you already know what it is. The one that started the legend. The Suzuki Hayabusa. Both generations, the first from 1999 to 2007 and the second from 2008 to 2020, have a nearly mythical reputation for durability. That 1340cc inline-4 was designed with so much safety margin that turbo builders regularly push 500, 600, even 700 horsepower through the stock bottom end without cracking a case. On a bone-stock Hayabusa ridden normally, 100,000 miles is just the halfway point. There are Busas out there with 200,000-plus miles still running on factory pistons. The engine is understressed at stock power levels, the gearbox is virtually indestructible, and the cooling system is oversized for anything short of sustained drag strip abuse. Clean first gens go for $4,000 to $6,000, second gens for $7,000 to $9,000. Either one will likely outlast whatever you ride after it. Here's the thing most riders get wrong. They think reliability is about the brand. It's not. It's about engineering headroom. Every single bike on this list shares one trait, an engine that's working well below its stress limits during normal riding. That's the secret. So the next time you're shopping for a sport bike, stop asking which one is fastest. Ask which one was overbuilt. That's the one you'll still be riding a decade from now. If this changed the way you think about your next bike, you know what to do.